All the great wrestlers of the early part of the 20th century came off farms. They had the work ethic, the toughness. They could pitch hay all day, maybe wrestle with pigs. A lot of them came from Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So people say to me, why does Iowa have this great wrestling culture, far greater than any of the other states? I said, Iowa had Frank Gotch, who grew up on a farm in Humboldt, Iowa, the greatest wrestler, in my estimation, who ever lived.
Author Mike Chapman, a retired award-winning Cedar Rapids Gazette sports editor, athlete and creator of college wrestling's Heisman Award, the Dan Hodge Trophy, collects Frank Gotch memorabilia, and has written several books on the native Iowan, who in 1908 became the first American to seize the title of World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
And that was actually catch-as-catch-can wrestling back then. That was, I'll catch any hold I can on you. You catch any hold you can on me. There was a lot of elbows to your back, to the side of your head. There were cross faces. They'd take their knuckle and put them into your nose. It was a very painful activity. There were three ways you could win. By a pin, the other fellow just saying, I've had enough, I'm exhausted, or you could win with a joint lock submission. The other wrestlers were very reluctant to go to the mat.
Gotch won 154 matches over his career, losing just 6 times between 1899 and 1913, then retired in his prime.
His signature move was a step over toe hold. He would wrap his left leg around your right leg, lean his body into it, your foot's trapped, and the pain's excruciating. You have no choice but to tap out once he locks it in. Frank had a fierce pride. He wasn't going to let anybody beat him. He went the last 10 years of his life without losing a single fall. By the time Frank was ready to return to his farm, he had earned millions of dollars. Babies had been named in his honor, as had buildings, toys, farm implements, and 100 other things. He would tour around the Midwest taking on all comers, never lost on that level, then became champion of America, and that's what set the stage for his championship match for the world. This is from April 3rd, 1908. It's catch-as-catch-can style for the World's Wrestling Championship. Frank Gotch was really America's first superstar in any sport. Baseball was in its infancy. Football was just barely around. Gotch was handsome, articulate, and the media loved him. President Teddy Roosevelt invited him to the White House. He was going to be one of the first major movie stars ever in the fledgling industry. There was talk about him running for governor. He had offers to move to New York City, Chicago, St. Louis, Omaha, Kansas City, and Frank was fond of saying, I was born an Iowa farm boy, I was raised an Iowa farm boy, and I'll die an Iowa farm boy. And of course that endeared him to the state all the more.
Back home, as fate would have it, Gotch fell mysteriously ill, dying of kidney failure in 1917. He was just 39 years old.
The day he died, it was front page news all over America.
To honor Gotch's memory, a state park was named after him, and his statue was constructed overlooking the Des Moines River in Humboldt, his hometown, where he once drew big crowds when training for matches. Chapman says that kind of fervent fandom is a big reason for the wrestling we know in Iowa today.
Catch-as-catch-can wrestling was just a little bit too brutal for scholastic activities. So you saw some refinements being made. They wanted to do away with joint lock submissions, put in time limits and referees to make it more acceptable to the public. It was the popularity of Frank Gotch that caused a lot of high schools and colleges to take up the sport. What a legacy. What a legacy.